What's popular, YouTube? Another day, another demo. I'm going to say it. Vitality will win Antwerp. You guys want to take a look at my view? It's pretty nice. I'm here in Copenhagen still. I'm staying for an extra few days. And then I'm just going to go to another event. So I'm actually alone in this hotel. It's so beautiful out here. I really like it. But, yeah, I'm on the Wi-Fi, which is not so great. Ethernet's not working. Not so great. And it looks like the Wi-Fi just went down. Incredible. But outside of that, yeah. Okay, so this demo, we're watching the Vitality Dupreeh debut. It's going to be a lane demo where Dupreeh plays with the team. Magix plays pit, Dupreeh plays lane, and ZywOo is rifling a lot, and they play on the A site. ZywOo had 22 kill half. Dupreeh was second up with like a 17 and 7 half. They came back from a 14-4 scoreline versus FaZe, and the main takeaways are that the setups are so dynamic with Vitality. They're like change it almost every single round. I felt like they were very unpredictable, and Dupreeh finds a couple of cute timings and stuff to show how he stands out from other riflers that would play lane. So why don't we go ahead and take a look? This is a good one. And the first time we had Dupreeh on the channel, which I talk about more. Hope you enjoy it. Let's hop into the game. This is the first demo. The first time I think I've done a demo on Dupreeh. The very first time in history. How could it be? And he's on Vitality. La 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 Vitality. We're gonna learn all about. I don't know. I've obviously watched. I've watched, you know, Astralis demos agnostically, just as a team and stuff like that. I haven't recorded any for the channel, but I don't know if I've ever watched a full half coming straight from Dupreeh when he was on the team. I didn't upload him. I don't think so. And it's always a weird one. It's always a weird one. I guess with, you know, it was like, I've done a Glaive one as an IGL. I did the Opping one with him. I don't think I've ever done Magix either. So strange. A couple of these guys, it feels like they've just been good for so long. I don't know. There was always some other, you know, there's always some other story to follow up on. No way FaZe won this round and Vitality brought it back. This half is actually wild. ZywOo had a 22 kill half. Kind of went unnoticed. You know, you notice how many kills a guy got in a half. If it's the first half, the second half, it just kind of it becomes a smorgasbord of numbers, and you're like, can't divide them up and stuff like that. But Dupreeh was second up on this list. I think he went 17 and 7 in this half. That's right. Even starting down 14-4. Vitality will win Antwerp. I'm throwing it out into the ether. That's my prediction for the next major. My super bold. Haven't seen enough results. Blind faith. Guess after all the roster moves, after the blast groups and stuff like that. I picked Na'Vi for the last one, obviously. This one is a bit more who knows, and Na'Vi are getting good again. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Vitality because they were very impressive overall. They have ZywOo, of course, number 2 Opper, which you could say is upgrade from device. You know, you could say that. You could say that. You could. Plus, Dupreeh he's not out here showing his age at all. Just looking like another one of the youngsters. And Magix, I thought the dynamic between both of them on the ace side of Inferno was spectacular. I thought it was really fun to watch. And I know with the team, I think we interviewed Dupreeh and someone else. Dupreeh and Alexi B at the same time for the Blast Push Talk podcast. We just did like it was really cool when we had 2 players on to talk at the same time, but now we're doing it's like online again. So unfortunately, since everything's back online again, we had them both of them on a Discord call, but they weren't really talking to each other. Like we couldn't really do that. It's hard to facilitate because, you know, one guy would mute, probably, you know, wait for their turn to talk, and it's kind of hard if you're not all in person to have a 4-way conversation between, you know, me, Scrawny, and 2 players or whatever. Obviously, it's really cool for fans, I think, it's really cool for fans to see their favorite players interact with each other. So it would be awesome to do more of these podcasts in person in the future. But yeah, the dynamic between Magisk and Dupreeh playing the A site was great to watch. I swear to God, Mad Lions invented the smoke. I swear they did. I mean, I noticed that I was at the showdown in the fall, last showdown. I swear I was like talking about it all map, and now I'm just seeing it every round with every team. So I talked about it before. I really don't know who started the smoke, but the Mad Lions were the first team I saw doing it. But that smoke that's deeper in mid is just better than the smoke that lands closer to the top of mid, because you can... There's even tactics where you can flash through it and go into ult. All right, let's see how this works. Ooh, he's going to take an early peek. Well, that's risky, but oh, it's a bait for ZywOo. That's really well done for Dupreeh. You got to love that. You would actually... Oh, this is so well handled. We got to watch more Dupreeh demos, man. Yes, we do. So that, I mean, how normal would it have been for Dupreeh to sit in cold in that box in the corner of the site and watch Arch, right? And let ZywOo take contact, and then he peeks after. Funnily enough, as much as you would expect someone to peek lane, it happens so little now when you hear all those footsteps coming up lane for someone to come off the site and swing on you. You know, Dupreeh could afford maybe to swing out a little bit while they're worried about other things. They're trying to hold pit. So that was kind of nice. That was, I think, unexpected pressure. I think that was unexpected. I wouldn't have expected. I would have been, oh, you peeked it. You did. You know? That was good stuff. It's already something, a nice little interesting move. Little interdasting move. So Dupreeh's the guy on T sides when he was on Astralis to come down to the end of halls, and he would always hold this really flat angle on Boiler, and every time someone would be in lane, he would kill them. So I love when players play the exact position that they defend or attack when they switch over, because they know what would be annoying versus them. They know what works, knows what doesn't, you know? So I think that's just a really great idea. Whenever it makes sense. You know, sometimes your lurker is not going to play there in the same, like on the opposing side. But with Dupreeh, it works out pretty well here. So now he doesn't have to worry about halls. He was a bit paranoid about it. But he's got some support. Just saw one. But Dupreeh's a guy who just feels like through the whole Astralis era and everything, he was just really good all the time. And I just figured there was always some new thing to talk about. But I could have always talked about Dupreeh. And then look what happened. You know, people never get the roses while they could still smell them, right? If you admire somebody, you should go ahead tell them. Right? Who said that? Kanye West, that's right. So look what happened. I missed the entire Astralis era. Didn't do a demo on Dupreeh. How about that? This has been a couple of weeks of roster debuts, which you can't really ask for more. I mean, if there were debuts every single day, I would be in heaven. It would be so fun, you know? New dynamics, new players on new teams. Thinking about Dupreeh swearing in French, I can only smile so hard, you know? Oh, what was that? Yeah, I did. Okay, so you see I immediately went to whip out a nade. So there is a little timing there. I've noticed some players exploit that where they can either take a peek or throw a grenade. I remember, you know, lane got mollied and Nico threw out a Molotov into mid after the molly there, even though normally someone would swing and peek, but for some reason that doesn't get punished. So I think that's actually a little gap that teams can exploit on T side, because people seem to be very comfortable throwing grenades into middle, which can really do a lot of damage.
I don't know how Lau missed this round, but we need to talk about how Rain got past Dupreeh. Let's take a closer look. I hope you enjoyed that. Now back to the demo.
15 rounds. There's no way they're going to come back from this. So this, see that flash, and then, yeah, he actually goes alt. Oh, they combine it with a push from up top. This needs to work. Oh, no way they win. Did I get the right demo? There's no way. That was such a cute tactic. So the flash just pops behind the guy running down mid. He goes alt. And since the smoke is so deep, you kind of, if you do see them, you only see them for just a flash, just a hair. And then they're in alt all of a sudden. So it's a cool new smoke that people are throwing. I don't know when to date it. I think it's a 2021 smoke. I mean, I've seen it sparsely in the past, but didn't really see full potential until the Mad Lions game where people were nading deep. They were spamming behind it, walking a little bit deeper than spamming behind it, using it for boosts. It's just a little bit better in every way. Maybe not every way. A lot of ways. Damn near objectively better. Wow, Masuda's going to save the day. Now Masuda's kind of the guy who can fade into the background a little bit. Like, he can still have a pop-off game, but he can actually afford to be a little inconsistent on this team between all the players they've got. I think the craziest part about all is that Apex, dude, he's fragging like crazy. He was one of like 5 players who were competing for best map in terms of HLTV rating. Like, he's just getting so many kills. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. All right, so there's still some troubles over here on the A side. I feel like they've tried some stuff. It hasn't always worked, so I feel like FaZe, you know, they could pounce at any moment. Oh, an absolute mow down. Oh, it's so easy for Dupreeh. Now they don't come A. Now A is done. That's it. Killed them all in mid. It's actually been him and Zywoo to do a lot of the rifling together. And Zywoo just I don't think he like ever opts anymore on CT side of Inferno. He just, I think at one point I remember he was like, I don't want to op, and then he let Navera op back then, 2020. And then Navera started opping, and then Zywoo would just be like MP9 in the B site. And now he's just out here just rifling Arch. And I don't know if he goes back to the op in this game or if in general he is, but Zywoo rifles a lot these days. A lot. He's like, what do you mean Nico got robbed? I'm going to rifle the number 2 this year. And he was already rifling quite a bit. One thing I like already is we've seen so many different A setups in this game. Like, very, like, vastly different. And I feel like that's always a good sign. And Dupreeh's going to be here, layering with Zywoo. How can they expect this? They've seen him deep in mid. Playing Boiler on site. Yeah, this is another cute, hard to read setup. Especially strong with an opening kill, but I was just waiting to see if they pop through the smoke. A is closed as far as I'm concerned. There are too many aware riflers with full HP on the site. But B is possible until Apex shows up. Okay. This nade is to catch anyone in alt who might be jumping up on the into the window. That's just a timing grenade. Can be team specific. Can just be generally when people get there. I think it's better to nade that way than it is to nade over the roof. This is a bit of a conspiracy, but I feel like there's some weird thing in CSGO where if you nade really high, like off a skybox, and the nade comes down, it does less damage. And that's just, I know I'm basically reading horoscopes here. Like, this is not founded in reality. But what I've seen from nades that go over the top of skyboxes, that's probably not true. I've seen it in B where it lands like square on him. It might just be that because the skybox is so high here on A, that it's harder for it to get low enough to do the damage. But for that reason, at least, I like how Dupreeh naded it instead. Oh, this is a brutal Molotov to have to sit behind. They got their moto smoke down. They're not using too many nades, but still 3 players on the site with 30 seconds. The rotations will start coming over. Dupreeh's is here, and all these elephant on lane. And he even catches the late arch wrap. It's all a little bit too obvious, a little bit too easy. You know, when you get to that 30-second or so mark, and you still got your Molotov, your incendiary. Feel free to feel free to get back to the site. You know, like, feel free to play a little bit more passively. That Molotov gets stronger by the second. After 30 seconds, The big one is if you like you see your footsteps on lane at 20 seconds, drop that Molotov. Even if you can't go fight them with that Molotov, your B guys can just rotate. You know? They can't really go back. That's a clean one. Good of Dupreeh not to die there. Nice target selection. Nice disengage. So well handled. Another lane hit. Quashed. That smoke, dude, it's good. And you don't even have... The other best part about it is it's better, and you don't have to go all the way to the front of the... You don't have to go to the smoke to throw your nade deep or anything like that. But you can. You go and nade really deep onto the stairs. And you can also walk down on the left side of the wall and get a very deep angle to just pop, 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 pop. M4A1 bullets on the stairs, you know? I'm not the sound effects guy. Minute 7. You know, Kerrigan calls lots of crazy stuff, so just be aware at all times, you know what I'm saying? The thing is, if you're aware at all times versus Kerrigan, I feel like you just get some free kills sometimes because, yeah, he'll just call the dirtiest execs, the craziest, scrimmiest, fast executes, walking through smoke over and over again. Sometimes he'll send poor Rain through the smoke. Sometimes he'll do it himself. But he just gets crazy with it. But they kind of have a team right now where if they can get that first player off guard, they're so strong in the back, you know, Brokey, Rops, Twist, that there was like a round where they exploded lane. I think it was versus Team Liquid. And then they didn't even trade properly, but they got Twist to the side, and then Twist got like 4 kills. And basically won the map. You know? Oh, it's well done. It's a retake. It's easy. I think Dupreeh was talking about how this win was very nice for the team chemistry, the team environment. Just to... You've got to go through all these things. Like, he's already done this all with Astralis, right? Giant comebacks. You know, bad maps that turn to good maps. He's seen it all, right? But now he's got a new roster, so he's kind of got to do it again. He's got to be on a team where they believe they can come back, survive the mood, all that stuff. So this is a first big one. Especially nice to be able to do it in a debut. Damn, they're very tricky with these double-up setups, man. This is what I'd love to see. This is why Vitality will win Antwerp. So there's been some problems on lane. I think Kerrigan, might have been the Liquid game where he mollies on the balcony and stuff like that. This one he's going to approach. Magisk needs to, like, I guess if he sees someone here, if he fights, then he will fall off. But the whole idea is just keep Dupreeh a secret. Make it seem like anyone who's on the balcony is off. This is tough. Now in this position you can retake lane, but they're still actually worried about an arch wrap. So I think now you might start moving, yeah. Well, okay, they've got it all dealt with. Rain's alone, there's 2 over there. I assume his days are numbered. Ooh, into round 30. Nothing feels scarier and better. After being down 14-4. And Dupreeh's mollying for any kind of quick halls pop. And this angle on the balcony, you can see into boiler. Just a sliver of an angle to cover that. And they're doing the same setup because it wasn't spotted. Talk about that sometimes. You know, you can have 15 different setups, but if one of them doesn't get spotted for 3 rounds, just keep using it. If you felt like it was a good idea in the first place, I mean, it literally didn't know about it. The quiet is so stressful. We don't know what's going on over on the B side, but Dupreeh can dodge flashes just staring into this wall. That's just why he's staring on this wall. He's not specifically to listen or anything like that. Can't frag if you're blind. But you can if you're deaf. Sun Tzu. Okay, so I'll fall back. They lost one teammate. Dupreeh's blind. But he comes 2. He comes 3. That sounded gross. Oh my god. The game could have been over right there. Absolutely absurd. I knew it was coming. Okay, so I didn't spoil it, but I remember that round. That's why we're watching this. Oh, and then that's a raw fake plant on the ace side. So Dupreeh literally aced. I mean, it's the same thing as literally acing. He killed all of Robs' teammates, and then Robs had so much PTSD he didn't even know how to plant. That's technically an ace. Doing such a good job on these opening frags, too. He's trying to see if Robs is sneaking to the end of halls. I think this is the first time he's ended up here in the graveyard. They've really done a good job of being dynamic as a team this half. I like all of these different kind of double rifle, slightly atypical setups, different timings. It's a free peek, but yeah, he's going to be worried about lane. Okay, it's done. 16-15. Wow, from 14-4. Almost ate that whole grenade. It looks like Matt just wants to push. Now, I was saying that sometimes people don't flash into halls, so you might be they might flash into this smoke or something after, but I feel like people don't flash into halls as much anymore because it's so... sometimes you flash the guy's like blind, but then he just starts spraying and he just clotheslines you. But in this round, they're good. They actually clear out halls. See if they do anything interesting off the info. With these Kerrigan smokes, you can't trust them at all. You never know. Oh. Wow, they got all this info back. That's going to be tough. No way. No way. He's so blind. Oh, poor Rain. I don't know where they flashed from. I don't know if it was... I guess it was Magis from... Magis flashed for him over Arch, so you could go through the smoke. But they got back all that info, and then the B guys didn't have to rotate there. That smoke could have been really annoying. It looked like Rain was maybe going to lurk through Arch while they took A that way. So yeah, nade throws to the end of halls. You know, make sure you don't throw nades like that every single round, because then people are going to wait them out. Just throw them once in a while. There's some nades you do want to throw every round, and some you don't. Wow, 4 players set up on A now. So a position like this, it can be good to go and try to like be really aggressive, because they haven't flanked down mid that often. So you could try to take a peek down mid or whatever, but the idea is, you know, you've invested so much on the A site, so if the round goes on for 20 seconds, nothing happened, you could have been, like, setting up a full flank or killing the guys who were there with your 4 guys. Sometimes just sitting with 4 can be bad, obviously, because then the other side is just understaffed. They couldn't totally push Dupreeh here, but typical setup is going to be either quad emo and pool. Quad is going to be like last a peak versus the con guys. They find emo, and it's a double emo. That's the NA special, the double emo. We do that in NA every match. Because our education system is so low, it always works. We go, oh, I knew he was going to be double emo again. They're throwing the boomer top mid smoke. That's why they lost. They're not throwing the new gen white jersey gilded deeper mid smoke. That's why it's going to be a G2 Vitality final, because they're both throwing the Zoomer smoke mid. Oh, that sucks. He didn't even see him. Going A is so brave, but they're going to trust the call, and they have a smoke from a Magus, so they can smoke Arch or Moto if they want to. So they clear Arch and they smoke Moto. That's the best option because, yeah, the rotators are the really, really stressful part, since there's probably going to be more than people on the site. But Rops is trying to frag. Oh, that's a key kill that Magus got. But this is a Dupreeh down. We're not here to talk about Magisk. And here he comes, Masuda the Shooter. 1v2da. I didn't mean to. Anyways. It's free. Wow. Amazing. Dupreeh. That was sick. That was a very nice, from the team aspect of what I would be watching that demo and learning from. All of the different setups you could use that are like viable. And there's so much stuff going on there. The way they're moving around, how they're thinking about FaZe, and some of the communication we're missing from their B-site players. It's so dynamic. We got to see a lot of Dupreeh's favorite angles. A lot of the fights that we saw, they weren't hard. You never put himself in a really terrible position. And obviously he's an aimer, so he could still win those duels. But you could see that he was always set up nicely, found some nice timings. I felt like the really good things about Dupreeh in that game, he was so unpredictable, and I would feel like that would be a very hard game to read if I was Kerrigan for all the A setups that they had, all the different ways they used it, the rifling Zywoo, the double push Arch, the different lane setups. They did something new every round. So yeah, that was pretty cool. That was different. And we're gonna watch Magisk and also do Magisk, who's been playing Pit, and then watch him play with Dupreeh from that perspective in a different match. Magisk overall didn't have as strong as a debut across all their games as Dupreeh did, but he still had a couple of really good maps. So we're going to watch that. Hope you enjoyed that one. Vitality, Dupreeh. Be safe, everyone.
Big dog shit, got my paws all dirty. Looking for a plate, that's why the dogs up early. With it white beard, eat it like a McFlurry. I ain't got time to chill, I'm in a hurry. P the game, I got it for my daddy ho. Smoking dope, but saying raps out on the patio. My boss said you ain't put